Cue the intro music.
So soothing. So nice. Hey everyone! Welcome to Art Friends. It's Friday and that's Art Friends time. Today it's just me and Opalia because Coda has still vanished off of the face of the earth after he said that Coda was a decent program. And yay.
Yes,
Today
that's what you get for it. Sorry.
today we're talking about commissions. Are commissions good? Are commissions bad? We might know. Opalia might know, I might know.
Yes.
We're going to figure it out.
Anyways, Coen, what is a
Yes,
commission?
a commission is, I'd say, to put it vaguely, a paid service or like a paid something you pay for and you get something for in return. Like something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines. It's basically like a job, but more like once instead of like, and it's more like someone pays you to do something instead of someone pays you to like hire you and sit in front of a I don't know cash register for 9 hours a day.
Exactly.
It's more like they
So
would pay you to build a register, I guess. But yeah, continue.
I think that commissions are like, you get someone to pretty much say, draw me horse, I will give you $10. And then you draw them a horse and they give you $10. That's as simple as it goes.
Basically,
It's very basic. Like, everybody could do commissions as long as they have learned it. Or can they? We will get to that back on later.
yeah.
So, anyways, alternatives to commissions also
Basically,
exist.
commissions are just yeah. But I wanna freaking. I forgot the English word. Dang it. Uh, Samenvatten.
Elaborate?
No. Anyhow, basically, commissions, you get money, you give service. So in this case, it would be drawing. But it's the only thing you can trade for art money. Because money is so freaking subjective. So isn't there a better way?
We glanced over it last episode when we were talking about art trades. Art trades are a fun way to do a commission, quote unquote, with less stress. You get something for doing something, and yeah, it's not paid. Like, you pay with your own drawing. But there are some pros and cons to art trades. For
Yep.
example, people can think that you draw them like a full-on background piece, dynamic pose, 20 characters, for like one furry drawing. You know, it's not the same, really.
Seems like a fair
Don't.
trade to me.
So you always have to talk about, like, I don't know, I draw you this cat, and then the person is like, all right, do you also want a drawing of a cat, or do you want it of a dog? And then the person is like, yes, I would like a dog.
I feel like
You know?
subject matter isn't that important in the value of an art piece, but it's more like the complexity of the scene. It's just like a cat eye. Boom. Done. 5-minute painting. Here you go. Where's my freaking cat army warrior cats giant manga poster with detailed inks, so detailed you can see the individual hairs. Uh,
Exactly. Like, you always have to keep it fair, I think.
yep.
Where it blurs the line might be with like a detailed character and the less detailed character, but I think you will have to talk about that with a friend. Normally, it's okay for them to do the detailed character.
And I mean, it's a trade. It's not like really serious, or at least it shouldn't be serious. No one
Exactly.
in the professional industry is like doing art trades as a job, I think, because you can't
No,
make
not
money off
really.
of that. But
Exactly. And
it
that's a
is
code.
it is a super enjoyable thing to do with friends, like we said last episode.
Exactly. Like, it might not be the best way to survive, but it's a great way to spend time with friends. Like, you can still be in a Discord call while doing the art trade.
Yay. Imagine being in a Discord call. Wouldn't that be silly?
Yes. But what if you just want a character design, just don't know what you want? What would that be like? What would you have to do for that when you don't know how to design a character, don't have any idea?
Well, normal people would hire a character designer or a creature designer, but on the internet, people have found a way to kind of do that, but like put stock on it, so you don't really get hired to do something, but you can put something out there and someone buys it, and that is called an adoptable. And we both generally dislike the concept.
Yeah, especially especially since I'm myself a character designer. It's kind of annoying to see how much money people make with that, while I'm working like
They're making
3
fat
months on
stacks.
like a lot of like I'm working 3 months on like a big commission with like 8 people to be drawn. Meanwhile, they just draw whatever style they whatever they like.
Leg.
Like can like design them however they want and get the money for it. Meanwhile, I will have to work off strict rules. Like, yes, they are allowed to have black hair, but don't give them any strands of colored hair in that, you know?
Yeah. But really, I think I won't assault you if you want to do adoptables. I just
Obviously.
don't like it because, in my opinion, it kind of like not really promotes creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of hiring someone and together coming up with a design and iterating on it and voice crack, hey, uh, you're basically the person just designs whatever character looks cool, and people on the internet buy the rights to that character. And notice that I said rights there. Rights and copyright and all sorts of stuff are so heavily involved in this, and scamming is so prevalent.
Oh, yes, it is. And especially like in adoptables, you can get easily scammed. Like they can use your design when they see it. Like you are not showing that privately to people like, hey, I want to buy my design. You're showing them most of the time like on your Instagram account, telling the price underneath. Then the person is like, oh yeah, I like 90% of that outfit, so I'm going to take that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very I almost said dangerous, but it's like
Dicey.
not the safest.
It's a bit of a dicey market to buy stuff from.
Yeah.
And really, when you have a story to tell, you shouldn't spend like 10 hours looking across the internet, looking across DeviantArt or whatever, looking for the perfect adoptable that would suit your story, and then eventually buy it for $60. No, that's just silly. Stop it. Instead, look online on the Art Commissions Discord server. There's a really big Art Commissions Discord server, and it's full of artists who like commissions, or just look up on Twitter or whatever. Commissions open. There will be a ton of most likely underpaid character design artists, because a lot of artists like character design, who can just design whatever character you had in mind and maybe make it look better than what you had in mind, probably for a very cheap price. Because imagine being an underpriced character designer. Am I right, Opalia?
Wouldn't know what you mean.
Haha, sure you wouldn't.
But yeah, he is obviously right. Like it's better to commission someone than to just steal it, you know? I think there's like that line where we didn't talk about when it's okay to steal and when it isn't.
Nope.
Like
Future
stealing full
episode.
Yes, but I quickly want to put it in.
Right.
Don't you dare steal someone's design.
Don't do it. Please.
Exactly. You can ask that person, hey, can I use bits of that design? The person would most likely say, sure, if you credit me. When you credit them, they are happy.
Although that depends, because I steal from a lot of people on a daily basis. And when I see a certain design element in someone's art and I include it in my own, I can't really credit them. Because if I would credit everyone I take inspiration from and generally steal things from, it's just like a long list of people, like thousands probably. You can take elements, but don't just make a rip-off of something. If you're going to steal from at least as many people as you can, because then no one will notice.
If you steal classically. Don't steal from one, steal from everybody.
Classically.
Yes, classically is a word.
Cleverly. No, classically. Anyhow, next point on the list is, but Opalia, say that people want to do commissions. How do you price them and how do you do them?
Okay, so many people actually asked that multiple times, like, how do I praise my commission?
Praise my commission, peasants. Look at this commission I made. Praise it.
That's actually a thing we should talk about right after this. So anyways, how do I price my commission? It's kind of hard sometimes, and I get a lot of questions. Like, I see them a lot, and sometimes I'm getting asked, like, Opalia, how in the world did you do that? Like, how did you know how to price your commissions? And if you would have asked me like a year ago, I would have just been like, I don't know. But now I kind of got some points. Like, first of all, how long do you draw is kind of a thing you have to keep in mind. Like, if you're drawing professionally for like 30 years, you can pull it up a little bit higher. Then how wide is the audience that I can draw for? Like, can I draw animals? Can I draw cars? Can I draw intricate backgrounds? Can I only draw a character design? Or can I do like 4 scenes, 50 people in like 2 days?
Well,
please don't do that. That would work you out.
Not if you're fast.
Exactly. But like, just that stuff you have to keep in mind. Like, how wide is my audience? Because the wider the audience, the higher you can stack your prices. Also, the wider you can promote your commissions.
True. But you shouldn't spread yourself too thin. You do want to get like that niche where you just can keep getting money from and keep getting better at, and you just constantly get better and better, and you make more and more.
Exactly. Then the next point is, you brought me out of my train of thought.
I brought you out of your trance, out of your spiritual commission trance. Anyhow, you were talking about variety of topics.
Right. Exactly. Like, as I said, how long do you do it? What is the variety? Then you can most of the time also go by like, what's the minimum wage? Like, do I work 5 hours on dynamic pose drawing with like a simple background? Then the minimum wage, for example, could be $9, and 9 times 5 would be 45.
So $9 is minimum wage
here in Germany. So it's $45 for that drawing, like the dynamic pose drawing with simple background. That's how you can also price it. But then again, if you work like 20 hours on like a background piece, the price can get very high.
Yeah.
So that's not the best way to go. That's how I did it like 2 years ago.
I mean, you should still take it into account.
Yes. Another good way is to talk to people that like you and talk to people that don't like you as much. When you ask people that you like, how is my art? Do you think I can commission, and how much would it be? The person would be like, oh my god, it's so great. I love it. 500 for like a headshot. You know, that's not the way to go, especially when Coen is the friend.
So I'm fairly good at pricing commissions. Thank you very much.
He actually helped me with my last commission sheet.
Yep. I got all my information from like a single YouTube video. or 5.
That's great.
I know.
But also like the friend or the person that doesn't like you as much will be somewhat harsher. Like they will critique the
Frick.
motorcycle out of you.
Fantastic.
Yes, I am Christian Palia.
I love it when I get critiqued so hard that I just turn into a motorcycle. I just love it when that happens.
I think that's when like someone is critiquing you and you're just like
Then you just ride off into the sunset.
yes.
Wonderful. Anyhow.
But like, yeah, what do you think? How would you price your commissions? Oh wait, I forgot one point.
Yeah, you did.
It's traditional versus digital art. I hope I didn't cut out.
Nope.
Okay. In digital art, it's pretty much like the price of the drawing. That's it. Wow, I had an accent. But in traditional art, which is like on paper with like pens, you will have to also keep in mind like the shipping cost.
If you want to get it shipped.
Yes, exactly. Like if it's your neighbor, just bring that to them.
And you could also like scan it in and send a digital copy if you have a scanner.
Yeah, but like that's what I wanted to talk about next. Material cost. Like paper isn't cheap. Pencils are definitely not cheap if you buy like Copics or like watercolors from Schminke.
I know what that is. But Jay,
yes.
materials.
Also like the scanner. The scanner will cost. Believe me. Oh, that will cost so much money. Whew.
I felt like someone showed me like a $12 scanner on Amazon.
It's more like a scammer than a scanner.
Scammer. That's hilarious, actually. Anyhow, but Jay, this doesn't only relate to traditional, because if you're just drawing on your phone and just doing commissions like that, that's fine. But you do need to keep it into account, because there's a difference of, I don't know, drawing on your iPhone 5 from the Stone Age. Haha. Guess I'm a zoomer now. And your, I don't know, $12,000 PC gaming setup with Photoshop.
Yeah, because everybody uses Photoshop.
No, just giving the most expensive example.
Yeah, I know.
No.
You're right, like it always depends like on how expensive your art tools are. But I wouldn't want them to pay like $500 just because you have like $1,000 computer, you know?
Yeah.
It's more like, let's say you have $1,000 computer like set up, then minus 2 zeros. Because the more commissions you get, like let's say you get 100 commissions, you can almost rebuy everything.
Yeah.
I think. I can't math. You have to do the math yourself. I'm not your teacher.
So next up, we've talked about pricing and stuff like that, but that's how much they should cost. But Opalia, how do you actually start? Because the way I see it, the only way is to either pray to the art gods, then I don't know, kiss the toes of Picasso or whatever, and then sacrifice your soul to Santa Claus, and then you're able to get money for your art. But how do you do it?
So anyways, you kind of start by, first of all, doing art. Like, you can't start from nowhere. Like, if you're only able to draw stick figures, maybe up the game.
Get good.
First step, get good. No. The first step is to get to a point where you feel comfortable with your art, where you know, okay, I can finish this in like a normal amount of time and give it to people. That's a good way to go. Like if you take 20 hours for like one headshot, that's not hyper realistic. Maybe learn to get faster a little bit, especially like speed is important. Too sad we didn't invite Speedscape for this one.
At Speedscape, wanna join the call? It's very important right now. It's very topical. We need you. Okay, thanks.
But we will have to kick you out like 5 seconds afterwards. Oh yeah, the speed you're working at your commissions is also very important. Like, as I said, if you take 20 hours for a headshot, not for hyper realistic, then you maybe should like up your game there. Then
Yeah.
first of all, the first commissions will be stressy. Like, you will make yourself like, it's obviously not talking like everybody will do that. It's just like how I saw it. The first commission, you will probably feel like scared, or like you should be like at your very best, like top yourself. But no, they are paying you for you. Like, they are paying for what they see. They are not paying for Picasso level. That was mean.
We constantly keep mentioning Picasso, but we're like, Picasso's like famous for drawing like a child, so might not be the best example actually.
Don't stress yourself out. Like, the person does not expect like Kim Jong-ji from you. They expect a you from you.
They don't
You know?
expect Junji Ito, they suspect you.
Suspect.
They expect. God, I can't talk today.
English is our main language, obviously, definitely 100%.
Yep, we're definitely not Central European plebs. No, we are English speakers.
Speakers.
Yes. That actually makes sense. English speakers.
Yes.
Anyhow.
So
but
anyways.
A thing that's also important is putting yourself out there. Because there's a common saying that I like to believe in, which is if you get good enough at something, people will pay you to do it eventually. If you get good enough at concept art, people will pay you to do concept art. If you get good enough at baking, people will pay you to bake.
Exactly.
But they won't automatically smell that you're good at baking. You need to put yourself out there. Post on all the social medias. Freaking email 1,000 people saying, yo, I love your stuff. Wanna commission me? Basically, put yourself out there. Thanks, dog. I appreciate it. Oh, I love that dog.
It's okay, Joy. It's okay.
We have a third episode. We have a third
episode.
Third episode. I should have drank more water.
Joy!
so lovely. Fantastic. That is the best dog. Anyhow. Basically, one of the ways to put yourself out there is not only to post on social media, but also to generally just tell your friends. And another very handy thing to have is a commission sheet. You know? And what is a commission sheet, Opalia?
A commission sheet is pretty much like a piece of paper where you put your drawings, like you pretty much present your drawings in like a collage style. And underneath you pretty much put like your payment option, like I'm only getting by PayPal, for example, so I'm only putting PayPal, where they can contact you. Maybe you have a private email where people can like write you. Oh, Jesus, I just realized that I didn't look up if I had any new mails.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. That's on being a good commissioner.
5 emails. Hey, we would like to pay you $5,000 for a scribble. Thanks.
I would cry, dude. I would cry. So, anyways, I have my Instagram, my Discord, my email. On there, like I made a specific email for commissions because I think it's easier. Also, like PayPal, I think I already mentioned that anyways. Then I put in like, for example, no NSFW art, which we will brush over later. And pretty much like the pricing. I'm pretty much doing it pretty much. pretty much doing it like you have like the basic pricing, and then it's getting up and the next steps, like $5 headshot, $10 for like full line art and stuff like that, and then $0 because simple backgrounds in my case don't cost anything, like if it's
Fun.
one color backgrounds. But how do you like do your commission sheet, Coen? And what do you think is a commission sheet? Like, how would you explain it?
I would explain it as a business card of sorts, except with only your name, your contact info, and your special, super cool logo you spent 500 sketchbook pages designing. Instead, it includes your pricing, ways to contact you, obviously, your name, or your online name, your persona,
Yeah, for
and
example,
examples
Opalia
of your work.
or Coen
Haha.
Comor.
Yeah, my actual name's not Coen, by the way.
It's Cucumber Boy.
Yeah, that's my full name. No.
Yes, his middle name is actually Spicy, because people also call him Spicy Boy.
I
That's
don't like
not
that. I don't like that thought. I don't like that.
I actually wanted to say pickle, but I just
Pickle?
forgot. So I just said spicy, because pickles are spicy cucumbers.
Pickles are spicy cucumbers. Can
So
we
many sentences we could use as merch.
please, everyone, quote that in the comments? Pickles are just spicy cucumbers. It's very important that you do. At 5,000 subscribers, we'll release the pickles are just spicy cucumber shirt.
Oh,
That'll be
and
fun.
only the original fans know what we are talking about.
Yep. Basically, I feel like commission sheets are very important to have at the beginning because it's something you can clearly like show people, like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, these are my prices, here you can contact me. And if people look at that, all the information is basically already there. They don't have to look for something anymore. Like,
Exactly.
you want your commission sheet to answer everything and actually lead to commissions, because if you have a horrendously confusing sheet, they won't know what to do and they won't know what you draw.
Exactly.
Really, I made a commission sheet with Opalia once. Thanks for that, by the way. But one problem with commission sheets is that if you improve constantly and if you tend to get better, like not only in art but also at like general pricing and communication and being able to work with and versatility and specialization and all that stuff,
Exactly.
then you constantly have to change your prices, and then people might see your old commission sheet and confusing it for like your current work. So people might grab my old commission sheet, which had like $2 for a sketch or something, and they might ask me for a sketch for $2.
Well, I think the best way to handle it is just to immediately delete the old commission sheet.
That's important to do, yeah.
Yes, because
Wipe it off of the face of the planet.
exactly, because the less people like have to like tell you, hey, but you were cheaper before.
True. Then again, nothing ever really disappears off of the internet.
Exactly, but if someone tells you like, hey, you were cheaper before, you explain to them in a calm voice.
You can
I
just
don't care.
say,
No.
I got better, so yeah, that's that right.
You pretty much answer with, yes, I know that they are now more expensive. I have actually done a lot of studying. I have gotten better in my work, so it's worth more, and that's why I am getting paid more. If you are not all right with the prices, I'm sorry to tell you that I cannot put them down just because I worked cheaper half a year ago. Like, the number one rule stay nice.
Yeah.
Like,
But really, I don't
yeah.
feel like you should apologize for upping your prices.
Did I say sorry?
No, but really, you shouldn't have to like explain it or apologize for it.
I mean,
Because it's
if
just a thing.
yeah. But if a person is like genuinely upset and you're just trying to get them to understand you, because maybe they just don't understand it or just don't know why, then you just have to give like a little
You just say that.
explanation. Yeah. Like, I got better and I. There's so many flies in this room, I can't concentrate.
Dang.
Like, you can just say, I'm sorry, I got better. If you're not alright with the prices, I cannot help you. I will work for those prices and nothing less because I am, like, my work is worth what I give it. That's also a thing that I wanted to talk when we first started this topic of, like, price your art, where I had this blooper with, like, praise your art.
Praise your art.
You are your own cheerleader when you do commissions. No one will do that for you, unless it's Coen. No, but it's very rare that other people can love your art like you do. And you always have to know, like, you praised your art $10 like for a full body piece, and you stand to it. Like, someone tells you, well, you should be working more expensive, then you explain to them, first of all, wow, that was top 10 English best.
Yep. I'm going to comment when this video releases. I'm going to comment on it. Opalia and Coen butchered the English language for 15 minutes straight. You need to be your own cheerleader.
Exactly.
You need to go MONEY, commission me. You might ask why. I say, I want money.
You have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Like, if someone tells you put the prices higher, then you say, I'm sorry, I'm fine with the prices right now. Maybe you're not, you don't really need a lot of money, but you want to work on commissions because people ask you multiple times. If someone tells you, well, you should lower your prices because your art isn't that good, then you're like, but I think my art is that good and I love my art, so I will keep it as high as it is. But then again,
you don't want to land on the r/delusional artist subreddit.
yes. Especially since some people overprice their art.
Yep.
Stay realistic with the prices. Like, remember, if I take like 1 hour to do this, why would I get paid like 5,000 for that, you know? Always.
I mean, if it's a legendary artist, $5,000 might be worth it.
Depends. It really
depends. It's so
like, if it's a
Miyazaki,
who is like very well known, you don't know him, probably.
I've heard of him.
That's good. And he wants you to give him like 5,000 for a drawing of his, like for a painting. I would pay my soul.
Wasn't he the guy that did FMA?
No, that's the guy that did the Ghibli movies.
I got him mixed up again.
It's actually a woman who did FMA.
Gosh, dang it. Guess I'll have to freaking Google Japanese culture. I'm going to learn all of it, and then I might actually be able to grasp like the basic concepts, because I keep forgetting them. I keep forgetting the name. I keep forgetting the names and all the things. But anyhow, Miyazaki Ghibli guy, very cool.
Yes. Like, Miyazaki is a pretty good artist. Pretty well known. So if he is like, yeah, I kind of want like for full body 5,000, people would gladly be like that.
Yep.
But if you are only like known by 10 people, 5,000 is a little bit much. It's sad as it is.
Yeah. Unless those 10 people happen to be billionaires that would pay like, I don't know, 2.5 million for. Yeah. I don't know. Who would like imagine being a group of rich friends who would pay each other 2.5 million for a banana duct taped to a wall. Am I right?
Yeah. That actually reminds me when I was in an art museum and someone just like had chairs and tables on a wall, and the person was like, "Well, what are you seeing in that?" And everybody was like, "I don't know, chairs and tables." And they were like, "No, it's actually the 1920s kind of chairs and tables that existed. It's a message that old art can still be beautiful." And we were like,
Okay.
"Okay, boomer."
Sure. Whatever you want. Whatever you'd like.
Whatever you want.
So, let's move on. So, really keep those things in mind. Like pricing, stuff, commission sheet, all the stuff, all the things.
I will just quickly put it into like easier points to understand. First off, as I said, how long have you been drawing professionally? Like, have you been studying, stuff like that? Then, how wide is your audience?
Audience.
Then, how long do you take? How well are you known? And last off, do you have extra costs? Obviously you do, because art can't be made in air with your fingers. Unless you're in America, your medical bills do not cost anything.
Opalia doesn't in America this and dies from hyperventilation. You see, this is what happens when Coda's not here.
It would actually happen when Coda is here, and he would also laugh.
Yep.
Oh gosh, darn it.
Let's be fair, he'd probably be the one bringing it up. No.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of Coda-esque.
Let's get into the spicy part of this episode. Safe for work commissions and unsafe for work commissions. Not safe for work commissions. You know.
Exactly. So, safe for work is very easy. Would you show it to a 3-year-old? Yes, no. If you wouldn't, maybe don't. It's so easy. It's actually very easy. Like, if
And I'm
it's
like, where does I feel like in general society, I don't want to get political, but I feel like sex is held as more of a taboo than violence. So does like
Yeah.
action stuff and horror stuff, does that fall under NSFW or SFW?
I can explain to you. Horror, if it's just like a ghost, SFW. If it's a zombie, SFW. Unless
The
the zombie
is
gets too gory. Gory, pretty
Yep.
much. Little trigger warning for everybody who doesn't like it. I will put in this timestamp. Gore is pretty much blood, like your innards going outwards.
And with this magic trick, your innards are now innards. Basically, if anything's too like disgusting or gory or intense, I would count that under NSFW, but I wouldn't personally call it NSFW.
Exactly, like
because then people are going to assume you will draw the P word, which is generally not what you want if you're.
Exactly. Then we all know that the good old Devil's Tango drawing are NSFW. We will try to keep this year SFW.
Hey.
So anyways, what does it like? What I think counts as NSFW, not safe for work. Pretty easily saying, would you show this to your chef or their child? No. Then it's not safe work. Would you show it to them like a little joke with a minion? Yes. But
did you just
I think the best way to say NSFW art is just deviant art.
You just dissed an entire website. How many people do we want to offend today? Basically, really, even if there's not much sexual tension going on or any gore, something can still be quite disturbing to some people. So keep that stuff in mind.
A good way to go is pretty much, what do you see in ads? Like, how far do ads go with stuff like that, especially for like horror movies? Look at trailers. How scary do they get? It's most of the time trying to be like still scary since it's a scary movie, but not being too scary so children would cry from it. And that's a good way to go. Like, it's actually a very good way to go, to just look at movie trailers.
Yeah, just spend all your time watching movie trailers and never really draw.
I'm having brain farts.
The best farts.
Brain farts. So a good way to go is pretty much, would I like promote this? Yes.
Would
no.
I share this publicly? Would I look at this at an office job, you know?
But
if you were looking at the stuff at an office job and your boss would walk behind you, would he either say, oh, okay, he's just taking a break, or would he say, Mother of God, what are you looking at? Is that a cow? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You're fired.
But what I meant is, for example, there are some parts even in like SFW and NSFW where it blurs the line. For example, could you walk even louder, dog?
Oh, hi, Opalia. You recording?
So anyways, there are some parts that blur the line. For example, blood. We see like blood in anime, for example, that are for 12-year-olds. Is anything that is bloody immediately an SFW?
No.
No, exactly. Would you show it to a 3-year-old? Probably not.
Maybe.
Would you show it to a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
Rather do that, yes. Then again, Discord is for like 12 and up, so I'm in
13.
a safe place. Even 13.
Yep. 13 and up is the terms of service.
That's not the topic.
Nope.
Also, another topic where people are fighting if it's NSFW or SFW is nudity.
Mm-hmm.
The good old nudes.
Nudes.
And I would say it depends. If it's tasteful nudity, for example, gesture drawings, or like a character that is just nude because they are like a deity that is like very big and clothes would kind of subvert that idea of a gigantic person, then nudity is alright. When is nudity?
Noodle tea.
My favorite kind of tea, noodle tea.
Delicious.
When is it NSFW? Pretty much when it goes into the Devil's Tango direction.
When it gets into the direction of the SEX, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Basically,
so pretty much
anything that's a bit too sexualized can automatically be classified as NSFW.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's magazine covers with like naked, or not naked, like girls in bikinis in rather provocative poses, you know?
Yes.
But those don't get like when a child grabs one, you're not immediately like, oh no, he can't see this. You're just like, no, let's not make him look at that. You know?
Mm-hmm. So, anyways,
But really,
if you want to do NSFW commissions, but also SFW commissions, how do you do that? And that's a big question. Like, would you post your NSFW on the same page as your SFW? If you are like a Devil's Tango artist, post it on your normal site. But if you are doing mostly SFW art, then maybe make like an extra account, call it your artist name and then NSFW right afterwards, and also always put like trigger warnings in front of your drawings when you put them, for example, on Instagram, because you can do like slides.
Yeah.
Because it's like very important to like protect people from it.
You can just leave it in. But yeah, I have to agree. It's generally a good idea to keep your SFW and NSFW separate, because I've had it where I found someone on YouTube and I followed their Twitter, and apparently they also did NSFW stuff. And when I saw that in online, I was honestly a bit surprised, and I did not enjoy it that much. So yeah, generally it's good to keep also like a warning in your bio or whatever. Like sometimes there are NSFW stuff here. Don't
Exactly.
go
Warn
here,
people.
kiddos.
Exactly. Like if you want to post it on the same website, do as I said with the slides where it says like NSFW warning, next one trigger warning, this and this is the trigger. For example, syringes can be a trigger. And then the drawing piece. Because Instagram has that glitch where it sometimes shows the second slide, so always work with 2 slides when you do NSFW art. But also, like, put it in your bio. Say, mostly SFW, NSFW will be, like, marked. That's, like, the best way to go with it.
Yeah. For nudity, I personally don't really do NSFW. Only times that I do nudity is when I'm doing anatomy stuff, figure drawing, or drawing fish people.
Yes. Also, like, who do I sell NSFW art to? Obviously not a minor. Like,
no,
don't
do it. Don't do it.
I think, for example, if it's some gory stuff, Coen.
Also don't sell NSFW stuff as a minor.
Yes, don't give it to a minor. Don't sell it as a minor. I'm in like a legal age where I can like get and give NSFW art. Coen might not be in it.
Nah.
Maybe he is. Who knows? Just always ask, are you over 18? Or are you 18 and up? It just is illegal to like give NSFW art to minors. I think the only exception is when it's like action gore NSFW art that you give to a 16-year-old because it's like, did you see Deadpool? It's for 16 and up. So if it's a Deadpool, just give it to the 16-year-old, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, same in games too. If you have like, if people get chainsawed in half, okay, sure, R-rated, whatever. But if there's a single tit in it, or if there's some hint and for mature, directly, instantly, no takebacks, only violence. Am I right?
Yes. Okay. Okay, so we have some a last point that I want to talk about, which is very important to know. Like, we already glanced over the legal stuff with like the minors shouldn't get NSFW art, 16-year-olds should get like action art rather than like a 12-year-old. And who has the rights to your drawing is a very important topic. Like, if you sell the rights, then you cannot use your own drawing. You don't have any saying over your drawing. My voice just cracked. You don't have any saying over your drawing as soon as you sell the rights. If you don't sell the rights, you always can tell that person to not use your drawing, even if they commissioned you. Like, if they use your drawing for their own good, like say, hey, I drew this, stop them. Immediately stop them. But like, for example, if you have a drawing that you did for someone else. You paid the drawing. And then one day you tell that person, yeah, you cannot use that drawing anymore. Like, I paid it, it's mine. Kinda, yes and no. But the artist has to say something over the drawing if they don't sell the rights. Always remember that. Like, if you're in that situation where someone tells you that you cannot use that drawing, but it's like, for example, your own cat that they drew, then you can go to that artist, tell that artist, hey, it's my cat, and I would love to put it in like my Instagram story and like promote you. Usually the artist would say, I'm glad that you like my art and I would love you to promote me. Because like promotion is always good.
Promote us. Put our
And
podcast in your Instagram story.
yes.
Thanks.
And don't be scared to ask the artist if it's like your own character, for example, or your own cat, your own dog. An artist normally is like the peaceful person that would tell you, sure, you can use my drawing. Or they will tell you, I am sorry, I do not have the rights to that drawing anymore. The person is sadly right. So if at any given time someone threatens you to sue you because you want to use a drawing of your own animal on your Instagram, like in your story, they are mostly not right.
Yeah.
So always remember, you have a right. Like,
know your rights, people.
also, another thing that I want to quickly glance over is Texas. Not the state Texas, but Texas, like the thing adults do that is annoying. Here in Germany, you actually have to pay taxes for most of the things you do that are creative. But if you do commissions, normally you don't have to like pay taxes for it. Because it's not like the same amount of money you get every month. It's very, it varies.
Inconsistent.
Exactly. But if you turn from artist to a crafter, you will have immediately to pay. Like, if you sell a digital drawing in like an envelope, okay. If you sell it in like frame, oh boy.
Oh.
You immediately get called a crafter because you sold it with like the frame. So always inform yourself what's legal. Like, commissions aren't only, hey, I want you to draw this and I will pay you. And then you're like, sure. It's also, will I get paid? Yes or no. Where will I get paid? There and there. Do I have to pay taxes? Because as much fun as they are, you can immediately get into like a bad place when you don't pay like your taxes if you have to. And oh boy, it can be like a big amount of money you will have to pay if you don't do what they say.
Yep.
That rhymed. Just
keep that stuff in mind. Keep rights and all that stuff in mind, especially if you're older.
exactly. Sadly, commissions aren't only the fun part. They are also like planning out. And that's what I also wanted to talk about in like the third point about how to handle commissions.
Yeah.
If you have like 5 commissions at the same time, one wants it in a month, one wants it in like a day. Obviously, you don't do the in a month one first. But also, like, if someone tells you something, are you obligated to do it? Never. Ask them what is like the basic thing they want you to do. And if it's not something you want to do, you don't have to do it. You really don't have to do it. Like, if they want you to have like a very big drawing in like 2 days and you know you can't, don't even do it. Like, sometimes saying no is better than getting yourself into the stress even though you can't right now. I am talking from experience. And overall, if it's like in a like, as I said, if you have multiple, maybe get like a planner, plan out when to do it. Especially if you are still like in school and you just want to like get extra money to buy a new phone. You will have to first plan out, do I have the time for it? You will have to do so much. But then again, you can also just do whatever if you only have one. And they say, yeah, sure, give it to me in like 5 years. Then give it to them in 5 years if you feel like that's a good way to do it. But planning out commissions is pretty easy the longer you do it. Like, if you do this for like multiple years, you know what to do.
We'll probably actually talk about that in a future episode. This episode we really went like deep into the specifics and stuff of commissions, but later we might just talk about other ways artists can make money, like an industry job or conventions or commissions, you know?
Yes, maybe we can even get like a YouTuber like Bailey J to do a video with us about that topic.
I have knowledge of it, but it's outsider knowledge, so that's not as valuable. One last point, which is actually the most important point. The rest is also very important, listen to it, but the last point you really need to keep in mind, and that is to commission us. Thanks. Links to our social media are in the description. You can contact us there. And if you commission us via this episode, you get a 20% discount. That's actually not true.
That's a lie. Coen, we are not doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, this was it for this week's episode. Coen, do the outro.
Oh yeah, I'm doing the outro. Frick. That was today's episode of Art Friends. Be sure to commission us. Be sure to follow everyone that's in the description. All our links are in the description. Craig's links are in the description. My links are in the description. Opalia's links are in the description. Coda's links are probably also in the description. And we will see you next time.
Yes, goodbye. And remember, you can commission us, but you don't have to. Also, liked if you liked it, subscribed if you loved it. Goodbye. I will stop Craig now.
Be gone, Craig. Please make like a clapping compilation at the end, which is just
clap,
like,
clap, clap, clap,
clap,
clap,
clap, clap, clap, clap, clap, clap,
clap.
This would be a wonderful thing to put at the end. Just us saying this and then all the claps. That would be one hell to edit, though.